Right, so here we are finally getting round to doing some more of these videos. Apologies for taking so long, but here we are now. I've got time, the office is free, I've got beer, I've got a smoke, everything is absolutely groovy. So, where were we? Not there. We were in there. Number 5, Windows. So obviously I will have completed the last job that we were working on, which can't even remember which one that was, but this time we're working on a new one. It's one I'm just starting, so I've only done the windows. I've only done the walls, which is kind of convenient because that's where we are. In fact, I can't even remember if I've done the first floor walls. I might not even do those. Okay, so we go to our desktop. So where do we start? What are we doing? Right, so we go to Revit. We open up Revit. Yours will take a lot longer to open up than that because I already open. And where you will probably be in the file already because you would have gone straight onto the windows and doors after you've done the walls. But if the file is closed, obviously you need to be able to open it. In this case we're working on this one, which is 175, project 175, 40 Woodfield Close. You will have access to all of the files, and we will put them in the little open dialog box window things, which is here. So you'll have a list here. So if the file wasn't here, you simply go open, current contracts, down to the project number that you're looking for, which in our case is 175. Double click to open that. From here it's the same file structure for you to go to always find the files. Planning, drawings, Revit, grab it, wait, get that cursor thing, open that and click the one that doesn't have .000. So that's the one we want. Click it and click open or double click. Boom, ting-a-linger. So there we are, existing ground floor with only walls in it. So we start with the existing ground floor. Obviously we put in existing doors and windows, so it'll be the existing, and then whichever floor it is that you're working on, might as well start at the ground. Existing ground floor. So you have your DXF file in there, your survey file, and you've put the walls in. Now we're ready for the windows and doors. So you come down here to your detail level and set that to fine, and then set the visual style to wireframe. That's so we can see our DXF survey file clearly and see these blue lines from the survey file, which indicate where the windows go, and these vertical lines as well. I don't think we can see them window, which indicates where the doors go. Right, so we can see the underlay through our walls, which show our windows and our doors. Now we need to get the information as to what those windows and doors are, i.e. their dimensions. And for that we need to open up the PDF copy of the survey file, because the DXF survey file here doesn't include the door or window numbers, which is where we get the data from. So we go to our Windows Explorer, which is this yellow folder. That's opened up on my other screen, so I'll just drag it over. Okay, it's on this folder because it was already open. I think if I open it again, yeah, so it goes to a recent files and frequent folders, so it's like a sort of home screen. We want to go into current contracts. Again, we always want to go into current contracts because that's where we store everything, and we're looking to open our PDF file. Current contracts is probably always going to be amongst your frequent folders, so you might see it there. If not, we would have set it up in a shortcut down the side here. So whichever way you need to. A little Windows educational tip thing. When you're hovering over it, if you've got an arrow, that means you need to click twice. So clicking once will allow you to select it, and then if you were to right click, then you'd get lots of options that you could do with it. Otherwise you would double click to go into it. Okay, just go backwards from that. Whereas if your icon is a little hand, that means you only need to click once to go into it. Okay. Current contracts happens to be under operations in our hierarchy, so there's current contracts. We're an arrow, so it's double click. So we're in there, current contracts, down to find our job folder, which is 40 Woodfield Close, into planning, into the survey folder, survey data, red stick, and then we're looking for these 2 PDF files. Double click to open up the ground, as that's the one that we're working on. And that's opened up on another screen. So I'm going to do that bit again. Bear with me. Right, so you're in this folder to get your PDF surveys. Double click on the ground, and it should open up in this piece of software which is called the Foxit Reader. Can you see that bit where I'm flapping the cursor around? There's lots of different types of PDF reader, and we may decide to use a different one, but for now this is what we're using, and this is what should be on your machine. So when it opens up, it sometimes in this funny zoom thing, up here on the home tab, click on actual size, and that shows you the whole page. And each of these files, when we export them, they come out in 2 pages. The first one is this drawing, and the second one is this schedule, these tables. Don't ask me why, but in the building game we refer to them as schedules, not tables. So this is a window schedule, this is a door schedule. Right, you'll notice that on this PDF drawing there's more information than there is on the DXF. So if we zoom in, so you've got these icons at the top, just zoom in that way and then pan down. I'm using the mouse wheel to scroll down. As you zoom in, you can see that there's little symbols by each window and door, so that's telling us that it's, if we zoom in a bit further, we'll be able to read one of them. Now that you've got this hand, you can grab it by holding the left mouse button down and then dragging. You can drag it wherever you want if you hold the left mouse button down. You'll need that when it's zoomed in. So you can see that we've got lots of different symbols, W06, W09. W's refer to windows, D's refer to doors. You'll also see this bit here. Let me find a little drawy thing so I can do some funky shit. Let's try that. So you'll see these things, which are door openings. So they're effectively an opening with a door frame, or perhaps not even with a door frame, but no door. But also I use them, let me undo those two. I use them in situations like this. Now, I can't actually recall why I would have used it there, because it's only a pair of double doors, but I think I did that because we have an issue where we can only show single doors on the survey. Either way, you'd have to reference the photo anyway. So that is one thing you're going to have to remember. I do try and be consistent as I can on the surveys, but every now and again I'm going to drop a curveball in there, and I apologise for it. Okay, so this is the PDF that you'll get. I'm sure you've worked it out already, that each label by the door refers down to the schedule. We need to zoom out again to be able to read that properly. So, by example, right, I'm going to zoom in with the mouse wheel now. What you do is hold Control down and then zoom in with the mouse. It's a lot easier than using these controls up here. So, for example, W01 is a window, and we go down here. W01 is all of this business here. 582 wide, 872 high, and it is 1,233 millimeters off of the floor level, which in this case is the existing ground. I find it a little bit difficult to keep referring to this PDF file on the screen, so I normally print it out. The reason for that is because you can't see the numbers unless you zoom in. You end up zooming in and then scrolling down, zooming out, and it just gets frustrating. So I print it on a bit of paper, but obviously for this exercise, a bit of paper is no good for you. So we'll start at the beginning, and we're going to start with D01. So D01, go to our table, and we go down, and it's 8032047. The thickness never varies, I don't ever record that, and you'll notice that doors don't have a sill height because they sit at ground level. Sometimes you'll have a threshold, sometimes I will put in, if it's put in a sill level or a threshold level, if it's significant. Generally things are significant if I know that they're going to be affected or are going to affect the design. Right, so we know how the dimensions of our door. We go back into Revit. Sorry, did I say door? Yeah, door. Let's do doors. We're doing doors. Doors. So D01 is, I'm going all over the fucking shop again, aren't I? Right, so D01, we know that it's this door, okay? And we know that that's its dimensions. We go back into Revit, we know that that is D01, we know its dimensions from our schedule, and we know where it goes, because it shows us there. What we don't know right now is what it looks like. And for that we go to our photographs. So you open up your internet browser. Up here again you'll have all of your shortcuts if you haven't already. And you go to this one, which is photos. The album is stored on my drive, my bit of cloud, so it's going to be slightly different for you. On my login, it's simply go to albums, but you're probably going to have to go to shared albums. What will happen is myself or Jane will share the photos with you once we've uploaded them. There's no way of doing it automatically, one of us has to send it to you. and then you need to open the email and click on the link inside the email, which will then open up your photos and give you another button to click that says yes, I share this thing, I do that, whatever. And then you'll see a screen that looks something like this, which has all of our different albums, and you'll see that all of the albums simply follow exactly the same what would you call it, protocol, with a project number first and then the address. Obviously you go to the one that you're working on, which in our case is this baby, 175 Woodfield Close. Scan through the photos until you find the door that you're looking for. Now, in case it's not entirely obvious, the surveys, when I do the survey, the front of the house is always at the bottom of the screen. So this elevation here is the front. So from that you know that that door and that window is at the front of the house. You go to the photographs. Now what you need to do is refer to the photographs for all of the doors and the windows, and sometimes you'll need to refer to them when things don't work properly. So you're going to need to navigate around the photos. It's not always the easiest. So on this job we're going off Revit a little bit, but fuck it, I might as well, we're here now. So on this job I tried a couple of different options. Normally I'm just going around taking photos, snapping it and doing my best to get a bit of the last photo in the next photo so that you can follow it around and reference what's going on. I try and take it from angles so that you'll get a sense of what's going on. What I'm showing here, for example, if you look at a wider shot, we can see there's a gap there. So I'm pressing escape on that on the keyboard to come out of that. And if you click on that, that's just a little bit of a closer up to showing that gap, so that when you were looking at the images you'd see that you need to leave that gap. Now normally I just take those photos and photos around the flat. I'm also experimenting with doing a video which allows us to upload it, and I think that might help you to get an orientation of the house. So if you could give me some feedback, if you could, in fact, yeah, let's share this fucking thing with you now. I don't know you've got it. Ryan. Do I need to change that to Bob? Let me know. Okay, so we'll share it with Jane as well. Jane and Ryan. Boom. Gone. Sending. Photo sent. Right, so now it shows me that it's faded because you haven't accepted it yet. When you do, it'll be big and bright and bold and lovely. Right, what was I talking about? So I shared the things with you. So you can potentially go in there, look through the photos. I've now shared this album with you, so if you could please get to it. Jane can help you get to it, she knows this shit. And look at this video and tell me if this helps you in relation to the house. I'm thinking it probably will. It's a mild pain in the arse to do, but if it's valuable, I'll do it. Okay, and obviously you've got different shots around the house showing you different bits and blah 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 blah. So ordinarily it's just shots. I tried a video, and then for shits and giggles I also tried a little sort of panoramic shot. Now I think you can probably zoom into these somehow. Yeah, just scrolling the wheel. I don't know if that really helps. Again, take a look at it from a newbie's point of view and let me know if that's good to you. Right, so back to our lovely front door. So we go to our photographs and we scroll through them until we find the front door. Look at that, what a motherfucker, it's shut. I mean, it's open, which means we can't see it. Oh, that's a bit of a schoolboy error, isn't it? That's what the neighbours' doors look like. Okay, so are we going to be saved by a view down the here we are, look. Oh, and it was in that video, of course. Right, cool. So what we've got here is a failure to navigate. What we've got here is a I'm fucking pointing at the screen with my finger. We've got a single window, which is about half the size of the door, and we've got two panels at the bottom. Okay, where possible, we're trying to get a door that looks like that. We might. Okay, fine. So that's what we're looking for. We go here, and we click on doors. You will have some loaded, but usually just one, because that's what's in the template. So now we need to go and load more doors in. So we go up to here. If we don't see this, then you need to make sure that modify tab is highlighted, not any others. Modify load family. Okay, you should come to this, but again, if not, it will be in here. There's a little bit of development work to do there, but I won't go into it now because it will confuse the shit out of you. So click into doors, and then you've got a choice here of 4. We never use door ironmongery or structural, it's always going to be external or internal. Actually, I lie. It's getting that one. Hello, doors. It's going to be external doors, internal doors, or openings. They're the 3 that we use. Of course, if we're putting a gate on, but it's not that often that we do. But because you're the G and probably more anal than I am, I'm expecting that we will start getting that sort of gear on. But, you know, no pressure. Anyway, so obviously we're talking about an external door. Now, if we go down here, when you click on them, not all of them, as you notice, because that one doesn't have one, but when you click on them, you get a little profile of the an image. What's it called? Thumbnail, preview of the image. Right. So you click on these and go da, da, da. Rather than clicking on each of them, once you've got one selected, you can go down with the arrows. Right. You can also use the thing bar to move down, or the wheel, which is my favourite. Lots and lots of wheel. Okay. See the abbreviation EXTDBL, so that's external double down to external single. We know that we've got an external single door. So external 1 to 14, let's hope we can find one in here. But it's not all glass, it's not 2 glass panels. So are we going to be lucky? No. Doesn't, almost. No, we're shit out of luck. So what we're going to do is do that one because it's close, and when we print it on in black and white on 2D images, it won't show as glass, or if it does, we'll cheat and hide it. I'll just double check and make sure there's nothing better, because I did scoot through that a little bit. Now, of course, once you're more advanced, you'll be editing families. Now, that is pretty much way off me, but who knows, you might surprise yourself. I don't expect you to be surprising me on that, because it's complicated shit that I can hardly do. Right, so we're going to go with that one as vaguely right. Okay, so all we do when we hover over it, hover over a wall, it will appear. Otherwise we've got the sort of no entry type sign. As a non-driver, I'm sure that's fucking helpful. You, depending on which side of the wall, gets you where your opening needs to be. The orange thing here that represents the door, that is representing the door swing, and that is accurate. I have recorded that correctly on site. So you need to make sure the swing is going in on this one, and if you tap the space bar, then you can alternate from left to right. So we're vaguely in the right place. Click on the left mouse button to put it in there. Okay, and then lots and lots of escape on the thingy thing to do the thingy thing, because I love escape. Right, now you see this number here. Sometimes it's not entirely possible to see where the door should be. It's not always going to line up perfectly with this one, by the way, because the door frames are structured different in Revit. Basically what I'm saying is when we click on this, we'll get these temporary dimensions come up, right? And this is always going to be, should be, at the end of the door. If it's not, grab that little blue button holding the left mouse button, and it will allow you to select different lines so that you know where you're getting your edge from. And in this case, obviously, we want to go right to the edge of the wall. Now that is showing 140. This number here, because it's bold, means that I've measured it. So we know that the edge of the door frame for this door is 180 and not 140. So just to go through that again, we click on the door, which makes our temporary dimension appear. Hover over it. Now, I'm using the mouse to the mouse wheel to zoom in. There's several things that are clickable that do stuff here, so you need to make sure that you get into the dimension properly. So basically where it says edit dimension length, click on that once, it'll open up a box, and then we know that it was 180, so we click it in and that moves that 180 away. But of course we haven't edited the size of it yet. What a dickhead. We should edit the size first, sorry. We'll do another door in a minute. Right, let's pretend we're editing the size. We go into the door, and we go up to here, and we go edit type. We go duplicate, and this allows us to enter the name of what we're duplicating. I always name it the size, so the width times the height. So we go back to our schedule, and we know that it's 803 wide by 2047. Back into Revit, 803 times 2047. Okay. Scroll down here to find the dimensions heading, and you always want to be looking for the rough. So rough 803 and rough height 2047. Click OK, and that will change the door, the parameters of the door, so the width and the height. Once we've got our temporary dimensions activated, then we can put in our correct 180. Okay, and now we'll see that it's looking better. The arc of the door swing, we've got this lined up correctly, see, but the arc of the door swing will always look different because of the way the external door frame is. Don't worry about it, as long as it's looking right, we're fine. Also, these boxes here, they're cavity closers. You can turn them off. When we go back to the course view, you won't see them anyway, but if they're getting in your way, and quite often they get in my way, when you've got the door highlighted, you go into edit type, and there's visible, VIS means visible, cavity closers, take the tick out of the box, click OK, and the cavity closers have gone. And that is in effect how to insert a door. I'm going to pause and then we'll have another go. Right, so let's do another door. I'm just going to click that up to make it maximum. Let's do another door. So we go back to our schedule and we have a look at our map. Why the fuck am I calling it a map? Our survey. We'll go for D2. Let's do it nice and in order. In fact, let me just point something out to you here. This is exciting. This is impressive. This is interesting. This big number here, 1655. Let me get my pencil thing again. Pencil, where the fuck's the pencil? Pencil. 1655 is saying that dimension. Okay, 582 is saying the window, 803 is saying the door, 0 is saying the gap between the door and the window, 180 is clearly saying the gap between the door and the window. Note, some of these numbers are black, some are greyed out. Greyed out are numbers that the software has assumed, calculated, worked out. Black numbers are ones that I've actually measured, verified, put in myself. So whenever there's any ambiguity, because you're always going to find ambiguity, because a lot of these numbers are never going to fit. You're always going to have to adjust stuff. It's just the nature of the game. But that should give you an idea. Control Z on the keyboard to get rid of the lardy-dooby what's it. Right, so we know D2, we're going for this too, and we know that it's an internal door. We go back to our photographs, come out of that so you can get to the thingy things. Now this is clearly the living room, and there's the lovely living room door, which we have next to no fucking hope in hell of replicating. But if I'm absolutely honest, we quite often cheat. So up to door, save the project, that just pops up every randomly now and again. I'll come out of this again just so I can show you without that interruption. Click on door, again, these are the ones that are already loaded. We go to load family, we go to make sure we're in the right one, and we go to doors, internal doors, same sort of abbreviation, slightly varied. Door speaks for itself. INT internal, ASY is asymmetrical, so two doors, one being bigger than the other, they're not symmetrical. Internal double, clearly, internal double, internal single. Right, okay, so I've done myself right up here, so I'm going to have to explain something else. Right, you know that when you're in here, you're in Windows Explorer, and it's basically, a file system, a storage system, and you go into one folder, there's folders within folders within folders, and that's called the file hierarchy. When you install Revit, it installs all of the families, the door families, the window families, etc. And when, sorry, just to come out of that again, so we go back into doors and we go to load family. Now, when you go to load family, it takes you to this place, the libraries that were installed with it. Yours won't say ASA C, but it will probably say the rest of this stuff. So that is one library of files, but we also have our own library of files, which is here. Now that's a shortcut for it, and that's its doobity, that's where you find it. Now they always recommend that you use your own family files and your own libraries and your own templates and stuff. I've been lazy with it because obviously it's only me. Now that it's not only me, I have to sort that out and get that working properly. But for the sake of explaining to you this video, I might be jumping around between these two different libraries. Okay? I can hope that explained it. How this video's 35 minutes already. Right, okay, so start again. So we're looking to put D2 in there. We go door, we go low family, we go doors. This is in our Revit installed one. Doors, internal doors. Now, here's our internal singles. Boom, 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 boom. None of those really fit in ours. I quite often cheat and just put a plain door in there. If it's never really been an issue for me. If it ever becomes one, then we'll have to work on building up our library of internal doors. Okay, let's just assume now that the survey and the property and the photos demonstrate that it's one of these doors, and they're all single plain doors. Let's just pretend we're working with plain doors. So we select our door, click open. This tells us that we're already got one loaded. Do we want to overwrite it? No. So we cancel it. Okay. We go over to here, and this is the one's already loaded. I'm sure you probably know this way before I did. So this is the door family, door internal single one, and these are the family types. What we're going to do is pick one. We're going to edit and then duplicate. We change the name again, and we go back to our schedule. It was D2. Zoom out. D2 769 by 2000. Back into Revit. Up into our label box. 769 by 2000. Click OK. Down to the dimensions. Find the rough. Rough width 769. Rough height 2000. Click OK. Okay, so now we've got this door that we just created and we've got it selected. Now I don't try and put it in place because it helps to leave a gap so you can see the line. So place it so it's on the right side of the wall. Press your space bar until you've got the right swing, and then press once to place it. Okay. Now that you've got it placed, you can use your align tool, which is there and there, or as I prefer, and as it says right there in the box in brackets, the shortcut code AL. Okay, so AL, click the line on the survey that represents where our door is, and then click the line that represents the inside of the door frame for the door that we've just placed, and click on that, and that puts them both in the same place. You can see that this 160 is bold, so we know that I've measured that. So to double check, we can click on here, and it's not actually 160, it seems to have picked up another line. So we go into our temporary dimension, type in 160 and press return. And there we go. How to place a door. I think that's about it. Woohoo!